Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Preps. I'm Blair Cartwright. Please be joined by Kyle Pennington, the head basketball coach for boys at Bentonville High School. Coach, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Doing well, glad to be on here with you. It's been a minute since I've seen you since the
Yeah.
season ended last year, so glad to be with you today.
Talk about this. We haven't spoken since the season ended. What has happened with the team since then? How does that transition when the season ends and you start preparing for a new season? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, such a young basketball team to start with. One senior, a bunch of new guys that have moved back to the program, and so playing a bunch of juniors mostly, and a couple sophomores, and so the biggest thing is that we feel like we're in such a great place this summer going into the fall and getting ready for the winter of just having an older team, having a group of guys that have played with us for a year, and just looking forward to how that translates on the court with success. As far as spring goes, we got back from spring break and we started our spring workouts. A lot of skill work, a lot of shooting. We implemented a new shooting program that the guys were really competitive with, and so got in the weight room quite a bit. And then when summer got here, for about 2 weeks, we practiced more of a team concept practicing, and then got to play some really good team camps. The Midwest Showcase, which is a live period event, usually in Kansas City. It was in Columbia, Missouri this year, and so played really well in that. Went 3-1 against some really really good competition, and then went down to the Little Rock area and played in the Big Miller event down there and did really well there too. So really like where our guys are at. A lot of them are playing, finishing up their summer basketball this weekend and next weekend for the live sessions with their summer teams, and so tons of recruiting and phone calls, taking phone calls for guys like that, and that's the fun part, though, right? Like
Yeah.
we want to push our guys out there and get them, help them chase their dreams, and so that's fun. So we've had a good spring and summer, and looking forward to school starting and getting ready for basketball season.
Talk about the team camps in the month of June. What's what do you try to get out of those? Are you putting in new stuff, trying new things, or I mean, how does that? What do you look for in those team camps from the team?
Sure, Blair. I think big thing is we just want to continue to have continuity on the floor, building that chemistry even further within our team. I think Carter Coleman, came over to us this year, and so he getting him acclimated with our other seniors, and I think that's a big piece of what we're doing. Cole Hudson Pillar, another guy that lived in our zone that came back to us at Bentonville, and so getting those guys acclimated to our large group of seniors. We've got 9 seniors right now, and so that's something that's much different from having one senior a year ago, and so really just the chemistry of those guys. We don't try to put too many new things in. I want to see how they play, together. We want to play extremely hard. We want them to understand their roles within the team, and so. Another thing, when you've got that many seniors, guys have got to buy into roles and be really, really good in those roles. And so I'm very proud of our team and the way we performed. But that's what we're looking for most. We know this team pretty well. Like I said, outside of those two guys, all these guys are returners, and so we know these guys well, and just kind of honing and chiseling out their roles to make sure they're ready to go.
We always hear the old adage: you can practice all you want, but games are like a, you can't simulate games. So I guess that is where all these team camps kind of help fill that void.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Blair. That's a big piece of high school basketball within our state, but just regionally and nationally is, you've got to play games, but not overloading them as well. I thought the Midwest Showcase did a great job of we played 2 games on Friday and 2 games on Saturday. And nowadays, in most of the higher summer circuits, they're doing the same thing. They're playing 1 or 2 games a day, spreading it out over 3 days, which I think is really good for the guys too. The days of playing, 4 games in a day, that you just can't do that with the level of athlete and the time commitment and on all the things that they're putting on their body. But yeah, you can't change. When you tip that ball up and it's live, it's definitely a different feel. So very proud of our guys and the growth that they showed for sure.
As you have completed now 2 years, starting your third year at Bentonville, how did you get started in coaching? Where did it start? The decision
Sure.
that you want to coach.
Yeah. So actually, when I got out of high school, I wanted to play college basketball, and I went to the University of Ozarks in Clarksville, and I enjoyed that. But it was definitely, it's a job, and that's what I tell these guys. It's a job. So I eventually transferred back to the University of Arkansas and was just a student. And it was there that I decided I wanted to be a coach. I was in the business school, the Walton School of Business, actually, and just decided, I want to make an impact on young people's lives, just the way Charlie Smith at Springdale, made an impact on my life. And so, through those things, that's what kind of put me on this coaching journey. And my first year, I helped out Charlie Clark at Pea Ridge, years ago, and then um, ended up in the Springdale School District for a few years, from eighth to ninth grade, to Scott Boland's assistant for a couple of years at Harbor, and then was able to land the Russellville job as a head coach at a pretty young age. I think I was maybe 31 years old, and so that was a big deal for my growth and development as a head coach. You said the thing about players are practicing games. You hear it all the time. The 1 foot, 2 foot over in that head coaching chair. It is much different, and it's not really the games. Yes, you make decisions, but we've got a great staff here, and I think most programs that have great staffs, you're gonna lean on those guys, and you're gonna let them, have ownership of certain aspects. You got to trust the people that work with you. I think it's more of a standpoint of all the things outside of basketball that you're in charge of, right?
Hmm.
And those are big pieces that to be able to learn that at a young age, helped me on my journey. And we had a ton of success there at Russellville. Taylor Peter, who's playing for the Indiana Pacers, and so many great players down there, guys that are coaching now. Cade Schaefer is coaching with who was my assistant there at Russellville, Shelby Lewis at Little Rock Central now. And so it's cool to see those guys. It's kind of full circle moment. I'm not the old guy yet. I'm the middle aged guy, but it is cool to see, starting to go to players' weddings and all those things. That's a fun part. And from there, I went to Little Rock Christian Academy. I felt like it was an opportunity that I just couldn't pass up, and got to coach some more really highly talented guys that got to play college basketball. And those experiences as well, Blair, helped me, grow and build relationships with college coaches, and kind of grow, um, within the recruiting side as well, right?
Hmm.
That's a big piece of what we do, is helping guys, follow their dreams. And so just building those relationships over those years, and great success there, winning 2 state championships, and can't say enough of that place. But Northwest Arkansas is my home, and so when Bentonville called, it was a no doubter, and feel like we've grown a ton within our program, and just really think that this year is going to be a great year for our program. Put a lot of time in our program, 7 through 12. Feel like we've got coaches in place within our program to do the things that we want to do, and emphasize. And so really proud of that. But man, my coaching journey is a culmination of a lot of different people believing in me, Blair. You don't do this alone. It doesn't matter if your dad was a coach, your uncle was a coach. which mine weren't. That it doesn't matter either way. You've got to have people that believe in you and a part. And there's so many of those people throughout my journey, and I'm very thankful for that.
And Kyle, I think one big aspect too is the support of your family as you make that journey, no doubt, especially your wife.
Oh, oh, absolutely. So, when I talk about support of the coaching side, it's a no-brainer. But,
Yeah.
my family, my wife, Caitlin, sacrificed many things professionally in her career and continued to grow. It's very cool. We talk about it all the time. Like, um, we grew together. Like, our careers continued on an upward trend together. And a lot of times, when I say sacrifice, she moved away from family, and we raised some young kids, on our own for 6 years or so, and that helped us grow, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
very very great. But yeah, my wife Caitlin, and then our three children, Harrison and Arlington and Charlie. The support, you've seen them running around the gym, the kiddos, and Caitlin's always there, and the support she gives our players, and but very proud of her and her growth in her career as well. That we are lucky that she got to grow as well along with me. A lot of times that it's just kind of falling along. So very proud of her and thankful for her support as we grew.
And that's crucial too because the team essentially becomes an extension of your family, right?
Oh, no doubt. If you talk to my wife, Blair, these weddings, and we don't miss a wedding unless we have something for our family that supersedes it. Like, we're not going to miss a wedding. If players are having babies, we're gonna sing gifts. We're gonna see the kiddo. It's that's the rewarding part, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love winning basketball games, Blair.
Yeah.
That's fun in the moment. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. All the things. Um, but seeing a look on a player's face as his future wife walks down the aisle, that's special, right? Seeing a
Mm-hmm.
look on a player's face, former player's face, when a kiddo's born, that's special. That's what it's all about. And so, my wife's a big piece of that. And yeah, they become an extension of our family, and it's fun for sure.
Well, you mentioned that, and immediately think of Coach Smith, who is usually hiding out at the top of the stands watching the games. I mean, that's what you'll, I imagine, be doing after you step away. I mean, it's just that lifelong connection and support that never goes away. But that connection is so important. It's not just a coach. It's a I don't know. It's a friendship, a mentorship for life.
Yeah, and it's cool because the relationship grows, and you becomes coach and player, and then there's some mentor, and then sometimes when they're out of school and they're beginning, their life with their family or business, they're still asking you questions. There's still some mentorship there, and then eventually it becomes just like a friendship. It's a lifelong friendship, where you can help people continue to grow in life. And I learned so much from them as well, and that's a big piece. But yes, Coach Smith, what an amazing person in my life. I wouldn't be where I was at without him, and it's fun to see him up in the stands, and being a part. And our third child Charlie is named after Coach
Oh,
Smith, and
awesome.
so yeah, just such a small world. But that's the impact that he made, in my life, and like I said, I hope to make even a portion of that impact in our players' lives as well.
No doubt it takes a lot of time. What do you do to recharge your batteries? I know you guys get a dead week of 2 weeks, which, is nice, but it's 52 weeks in a year. How do you stay fresh and focused the other 50 weeks of the year? Because, I mean, it's a year long thing.
Right. I think for me, Blair, I'll answer that two ways.
Okay.
I think you just kind of have to have a rhythm with it, right? You can't just go 110 miles an hour and then think that 2 weeks is going to give you a break. I'll answer that with yes. The 2 weeks is outstanding. I love that time with my family. I try to completely unplug. Obviously, if college coaches are calling me about a player, or if a kid needs something, or a parent, I'm going to do whatever I can to help in those situations. But I'm going to unplug. Um, I'm going to read 2 or 3 books during that time. Usually, it's novels. It's not any, it's not leadership books. It's not. I read those throughout the year. It's not, any of those type of books. It's novels that just to get away. I'm a big John Grisham guy. I
Okay.
love legal thrillers, and so I'm looking at my thing here. I've probably got 20 John Grisham books
Oh,
on
nice.
a bookshelf here, and so just read a bunch and like I said, just relax with my family. Love that we go down to the beach in 30A and have a good time with my family and just get some time away. And then the other part of that I was going to answer to you with the rhythm side is just not using too much of your battery each day or each week. What constitutes something that I really what's important right now is something that I really think about, right?
Hmm.
And not taking too much of my energy on something if it doesn't need my energy. What needs most of my energy when it comes to a work day is let's prepare for practice and then let's practice really really well. Let's prepare for games and then let's play really well, right? And then
Hmm.
continuing on that growth cycle. And so recharging a battery to me is a daily and weekly thing, not just a 2 week dead period summer thing. It's just something that I picked up and just have continued to grow with for sure.
It's kind of always evolving, isn't it? Because the more you're in it, the longer you do it, you pick up little things and just learn things. Kind of like life, right?
Oh, it's no doubt. I mean, I think wisdom of others. Whether it comes to from mentors, whether it comes from reading books, like I said, leadership books and things like that, whether that's watching other coaches, whether it's coaches here in Arkansas or if it's, college coaches, NBA coaches, reading articles. There's so many things now in the world we live in to help you continue to grow. And so, yeah, it's always ever changing. And so, it's either you got to stay with it or you're going to get left behind. And so that growth mindset is very important to have.
Kyle, do you watch a lot of sports when you're away from the gym, or you're a sports junkie like myself, or do you have to just kind of get away from sports to
So yeah,
just?
so I tell people all the time, it's really hard for me to watch basketball and enjoy it as a fan.
Hmm.
So if I go to an Arkansas Razorback game on a Saturday during our season, um, my mind immediately goes to what they're running offensively, what they're doing defensively, their tendencies offensively, what the point guard's doing, how they're guarding the point guard, how they're guarding the ball screen for the point guard. My mind is continually thinking that way. And so it's hard for me to enjoy during the season basketball games.
Hmm.
I love watching the NBA playoffs and the NBA finals because it's after my season. It's the summer's been coming in, and yes, I can still pick up nuggets, but I can actually enjoy it and watch the greatest players in the world play the game I love. So I love baseball. I love watching my son play baseball. That's
Hmm.
something that we do a lot of, and so it's fun to watch that and be a part of that as well.
Awesome. See, my sound timer didn't go off, but I see we're under 30. What was the last book you read? Just out of curiosity.
So there's a few. The one I'm reading, the one I'm reading right now is All Carry by Gene
Okay.
Wojciechowski. It's a novel he wrote,
Oh
and
wow.
it's about the game of golf. I'm a big golf fan, and so
Okay.
he wrote a novel, and it's really cool. It follows this guy that's trying to go. make it in the pros, and there's some magic clubs he finds. It's a fun book. You should definitely read it. It's a light read, but it's a fun one for sure.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Kyle.